This build was inspired by another D&D content creator who I feel is criminally underrated. The channel's name is the Twisted Tentacle Inn. Over there, they're doing a deep dive into the Sorcerer class, its subclasses, its spells, the whole shabam. And I think it's the most well done deep dive as far as the Sorcerer goes that's currently on YouTube. So I highly recommend you check it out. Now, recently he released a video on the Divine Soul Sorcerer. He did a build around it that was really inspiring to me. So I wanted to do my own Divine Soul Sorcerer build. This build I called the Suporcerer, the Support Sorcerer. Now, although I am focused on support, I also wanted to mix in a different flavor that I thought was really cool, which is an angel who is right in the balance between necrotic and radiant energy. So for every spell I took that did something radiant or supporting, I wanted to take a necrotic side to it and have that be my flavor and play around with that. So starting off at level 1, we are an aasimar. We're going to take the +1/+1/+1 stat array as far as our point buy goes. That way we can get a 16 in charisma, constitution, and dexterity. When we choose the aasimar, we get to choose a form of aasimar, and we're going to be the radiant soul. The reason we go radiant soul is so that once a day we can use a bonus action to sprout wings and give ourselves a flying speed. Not only is this fantastic utility, it's concentration less flying. It's just going to protect us, and we really need protection. This build is all about protecting ourselves while supporting our allies. So as far as cantrips go, I'm going to pick up guidance on the radiant side. This is going to allow us to support our allies mostly outside of combat. And then on the flip side, I'm going to pick up Spare the Dying on the necrotic side, so we can automatically stabilize our allies. As far as damage goes, I'm going to pick up Sacred Flame for that radiant damage, and then I'm going to pick up Toll the Dead for the necrotic damage. Now, if I wasn't really sticking to this radiant necrotic flavor, I would go Firebolt, but I wanted to stick to the theme, so we're going to stick with it here. As far as the spells we take, I take Healing Word, so we can do the emergency healing right away, and Mage Armor just for our defenses. Now, we took the Law version of the Divine Soul Sorcerer, which gives us Bless. Bless is going to be our fight-winning spell for a long time, because we're going to cast it with our concentration, and then we're going to focus on our supporting from there. And so until we get into pretty deep levels, this will be our fight-winning spell the whole time, so I wanted to make sure it got onto our spell list for free. At level 2, we just pick up Shield. Not much changes. Our combat style doesn't change. We're mostly going to be casting Bless, protecting ourselves, focusing on our cantrips to do damage, and just Healing Word as allies fall, or stabilizing them, whatever they need. At level 3, we pick up the Aid spell, and we also get Extended spell. Extended spell is a really big deal for the Divine Soul Sorcerer because we can extend spells that usually have an 8-hour time, like Aid, for example, to be 16 hours. So if we have any remaining spell slots at the end of the day, we can burn them with Extended spell to give multiple teammates a buff in health over the rest. So even for the next 8 hours of the next day, you're still having benefits and you get all your spell slots back. So it's a good way to pad your allies' health. Now, the person you're going to want to pad their health the most is yourself. You're always going to want to target yourself, probably with Bless and with Aid, and then a couple other teammates as well. Now, this combo only gets better as we scale up in spells and now have even more hit points for those 3 people the next day. So our next meta magic choice is kind of more nuanced, and it all depends on how your DM is going to rule the 3rd level spell Life Transference. If they rule that Life Transference can be twinned, we're taking Twin spell here. If they rule that it cannot be twinned, because there's an argument that goes both ways, by the way. There's it's a debate what happens in that case. But let's say that they don't allow it to be twinned, then we're going to want to pick up Distance spell. Distance spell is going to allow us to pick up people from a further distance away, so we can Healing Word somebody from 120 feet away, just making us be able to stay better protected and to be able to support our allies better. At 4th level, I'm picking up a feat here, and I'm picking up Inspiring Leader. Inspiring Leader is going to give us a pool of temporary HP for every rest we take, which stacks with Aid, and also lets us do it to up to 6 creatures. So the more people we have in our party, the better this gets. I'm also going to take Spiritual Weapon, which I would flavor as necrotic, so like a scythe or something. I'm going to have that be on the shadow side. So now we can actually have kind of a new sustained damage fight-winning spell, but it doesn't take concentration, so we can continue using Bless along with it. At level 5, we pick up Magical Guidance. This is a good time to mention that the skills I'm taking with this build are all going to be face-oriented, and Magical Guidance is really good for when we're being face, we roll a nat 1, we can use our Magical Guidance to re-roll, so we're just better at being the face of the party. I'm also going to pick up Thaumaturgy here because it's probably my favorite flavor cantrip in the game, and I think this is the perfect character to be able to make your eyes glow and have a rumbling voice and shake the earth, all the fun things. And then I'm going to pick up Animate Dead. Now, this spell can be really dumb really quick and can have all the issues that I complain about with other spells, so I would limit myself to up to 4 zombies. So 1 3rd level spell spent a day. I can have 4 bodyguard zombies, and what's nice about having these zombies is, say you have a 3-man party, now you can use your inspiring leader and have other targets to inspire, so you can inspire your zombies to have bulkier HP. These undead are really all about bodyguarding you. They're about giving you cover. They're about grappling enemies, so I wouldn't focus on the skeletons. I would focus on the zombies, trying to just grapple potential threats away from you and to just increase the team's tankiness in general. At level 6, we get empowered healing, so we can use our sorcery points to make our healing spells more effective, and here we pick up a very powerful healing spell that this build is really built around, and that is Life Transference. Now, the reason that we've been stacking this temporary HP through Aid and Inspiring Leader is so that we can use it to burst heal our allies. Life Transference, we take 4d8 of damage and then we double the damage we took and heal someone that amount. Now if we can twin it without having to take the damage twice, now we can take 4d8 and heal essentially 16d8 worth of healing that we can then use empowered healing on if we get some bad rolls. Imagine a barbarian who's at half HP, all of it rage resisted, and then we can just turn around and do a crazy burst heal and put them right back up top. Life Transference is almost like the higher level heal spell in its burst healing capabilities. There's just nothing like it as far as single turn, you go from being pretty close to dead to being really, really healthy. And of course we have the cost, the damage that it deals, but it's worth it, especially because we're preparing for it. After this fight, we can now take a short rest, not only heal up, but now we can get our Inspiring Leader buff back onto our health, so now we can do another Life Transference. So just really, really efficient healing. At level 7, we pick up Death Ward. Death Ward is another spell that we can extend to the next day. So for the next 8 hours, if you're dropped to 0 HP, you're instead dropped to 1 HP. This works with Life Transference. So if we have 5 HP left and there's an ally that we want to burst heal, we can use Life Transference, roll the 4d8 of damage, take the full amount of damage, but we just go to 1 HP, and then we can heal someone for essentially 8d8. At level 8, I'm picking up Revivify. This is a time when we're probably really going to need Revivify. If someone else is doing it really well, I might consider something else, but we are support, and it's pretty crazy we haven't taken Revivify up to this point, but now we can. And because I haven't mentioned it, I will say that the Animate Dead is on the necrotic side of what we do, as well as Death Ward. And now we're back to our Radiant side, where now we're getting this Revivify, trying to keep the balance with our build. Along with Revivify, we're just going to bump our Charisma to make our spells more effective, make Inspiring Leader more effective, just do everything more effective. Now you'll notice up to this point, we are still using Bless as our fight-winning spell. We're still mainly using cantrips and then only using our spells based on in-the-moment needs. This all changes at level 9 when we pick up Summon Celestial and we get our new fight-winning spell. Summon Celestial is a powerhouse of a spell. Both forms are amazing. We can either create a pretty incredible damage dealer that if we were to combine with, say, skeletons, would mean our backline damage output could be pretty insane, or we can combine the Guardian form just to protect our allies, works well with zombies. It just gives us a lot of flexibility. So I want you to think about how much we can do with this character. We can create a Celestial, we can have 4 zombies running around, we can have a spiritual weapon moving about, all while we cast cantrips and can burst heal people. It's like we affect the combat so much indirectly, and I think that's really where this build shines, is its indirect influence to combat. At level 10, we're going to pick up the opposite meta magic of the one we didn't take. So if we took Distant, we pick up Twin. If we took Twin, we pick up Distant here. I'm going to take the Message cantrip, and I'm also going to take the Cloud Kill spell. The Cloud Kill spell synergizes really well with our zombies. Once they start dogpiling someone, we can Cloud Kill to just do this really powerful AoE, and I wanted something on the necrotic side once again, so here we go. I'm going to pick up Hero's Feast at level 11, again on the Radiant side. It has a costly component, but if we don't want to use that cost that day, we can always upcast Summon Celestial, and upcasting summon spells to even numbers is always really efficient. So a summoned spell at level 6, really, really good. But the Hero's Feast is fantastic for buffing our teammates in all the ways we want it to. It buffs our own temporary HP so that we can use our life transference to really burst heal someone. Something really important is it actually gives us advantage on our wisdom saves, which is one of our big weaknesses. We have great constitution saves, we have great dexterity saves, we have good charisma saves, but our wisdom save is really lacking. And this is where we can kind of pad that weakness. Because up until this point, whenever we're facing someone who's hitting our wisdom saves really hard, we can be in trouble. So this would be an interesting build to play. One, I love its flavor, and two, it has a really unique play style, and it's a very passive play style. You're really gonna want to avoid a lot of damage. So set up, and then really protect yourself. Make sure you're utilizing cover. If emergency is happening, that's why we are that aasimar with those wings to kind of escape that emergency. But I really enjoyed this build. So thank you for the inspiration, Twisted Tentacle in. I had a blast making this character. It was a ton of fun, and I would love to play it. If you guys are interested in some of our other flavor builds, check out the playlist here. But other than that, I just hope you have yourselves a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.